Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
You are romantic. A secret conspiracy of criminals haunting the streets of Prague.
Have you ever encountered them?
If I have, I didn't know it.
This cafe is amazing. It's been here a long time.
Yes, centuries.
Always serving coffee?
Coffee was brought here in the 1700s. A Turkish peddler brought the mysterious drink to Bohemia, serving it in this very spot. It was considered a rare and exotic drink that few could afford. The rulers even determined it was only to be served to the royals and nobles. They say that members of my family long past were among the first to enjoy this delicacy. But today, I'm happy to say, our coffee is served to all.
Was this cafe passed on to you?
In a way, different regimes owned all of the businesses here. My family struggled to keep it, as I do today.
I can see that you do love your work.
It is the history that makes me stay, knowing how hard some have had it. I can't bring myself to leave. It is not that I have never wished to leave, to try something new. I would love to be a writer or to travel the world like you and Adela. For me, I have my recipe book to write in, and I make coffees from around the world. For now, that will have to do.
I should get going.
Oh, you've made yourself comfortable. Should I get you a coffee?
You don't have any coffee, do you?
No, I was just being polite.
Have you heard of the collectibles side of Apparat in Old Town?
I have. Nothing more than a glorified pawn shop, if you ask me.
Adela took her necklace to the shop at one point. Do you think the shopkeeper there, Merrick, would be capable of tampering with her necklace?
Merrick worked in the gem trade for many years. He certainly has the skills. I'm sure he needs the money, what with that tacky little shop.
Who has access to your safe?
Only I do.
What kind of safe is it?
You wouldn't know it. It is very expensive. You think a burglar cracked my safe?
It's worth looking into.
Not even you could crack this safe. Go ahead, try.
Vladena, a moment of your time? To chat.
Oh dear, it's Oscar. This won't take long. What do you want?
Nice. I love the gems. But it seems there's more to it. Still have to do that. Can't check that off yet. Vladena, you should think better of people. I need to take another look at the Dagos file.
Hugh, I did not think it was possible.
Is this the in-store appraisal log for Adela's necklace?
Yes, it is.
Has the log always been kept in the safe? Could anyone else have accessed it?
It was out while I was working on the necklace. I briefly stepped out with a customer, but no one else was in the store, aside from Oscar. He wanders in here from time to time. Despite all his flaws, I doubt he would do anything to the log.
And all before you tried to update the Dagos file.
Yes. Here, just take it. It is of no use to me anymore. The necklace was fake.
I appreciate it. Turns out I'm going to get a coffee after all. Care to join me?
I would love to, but I can't. Very busy, as you can see.
Everything all right? It sounded like you were arguing with Oscar.
He will not let anyone but him evaluate the collection to be put on display.
Isn't that his job?
It was also his job when the other gems were replaced with fakes.
I thought that was before his time.
He was an assistant then. His superior was fired, but he was not. There was also an incident in London, did you know? He seems to bounce from exhibit to exhibit.
Interesting. Do you know if he's ever been questioned in relation to these incidents?
How would I know? I only know that I am qualified to verify the gems, and he won't let me. If I had to guess, probably not. He was never personally in charge of an exhibit. Until now.
I should get going.
Good. We are done here.
I'm afraid I don't have time to talk about the exhibits today.
That's not why I'm here. I wanted to ask you a few more questions.
If it will not take too long, I have an appointment.
I heard you arguing with Vladena earlier. What happened?
A professional disagreement.
You went all the way to her store for a professional disagreement?
She does not accept that I cannot have her assess the gems in the official collection.
Why can't you allow it?
I do not need an additional point of view.
You are the only one allowed to assess them?
In the case of the crown jewels, I am not allowed to assess them. I am only overseeing them. The same family that has officially done so for generations continues to assess him today.
If a family tie like that is required, why would Vladena ever think that she could personally assess the jewels?
Allegedly, her family were the original appraisers of the crown jewels, until they were ousted along with the rest of the alchemists. Too long ago to matter now, but nonetheless, she feels her credentials return this right to her.
How do you know all of this? They seem like rather personal details.
Well, people talk. The gemology circle is not large.
Did you ever examine the gems on Adela Cherna's necklace?
No, I am not a commercial appraiser.
Did you visit Zloty Jewelers while Adela's necklace was there?
It is possible.
So you have visited Zloty Jewelers on more than one occasion.
We are professional colleagues.
But you're not a commercial appraiser, so why would you go there?
You have already asked this question. That's enough. I must be on my way. Enjoy your time in Prague.
Thank you. That was abrupt. Can't check that off yet. That's done. Check. Still have to do that. That's done. Can't check that off yet. I'm not done with that yet. I should compare this file Vladena gave me with the version on Dagos. Hello, I am Nancy Drew, and I am not a robot. There's a lot of information here. These documents are the same, but are they? The date is different.
Oh, you again.
I looked into the file you gave me. It doesn't match what's in the Degas file.
I tried to copy the log into Degas because the information didn't match.
Are you saying you tried to doctor the official Degas file?
The entry was wrong. It didn't match the log I wrote. As the registered gemologist and appraiser for the necklace, I should have been the only one to alter the official online entry.
Well, I hope that's the case. I may have more questions later.
I am the one who insisted Adela bring you in.
You did? Why?
Well, it started when I heard you on that podcast. What was it called? My favorite high-stakes heist?
Oh, you saw that?
You were surprisingly well-spoken and so creative, puzzling your way through all those absurd situations. The police in Prague, they do not pay attention to little crimes. I knew you would not fail.
I'm glad I'm here to look into it then. Agent Garrett?
Yes, Nancy. What can I do for you?
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
The supposed crime ring.
So you have. If they are real, it's possible they could be involved.
I'll look into it. I hadn't considered that they would be a force in this day and age, but what you're saying makes sense.
I was finally able to view the necklace's Degas file. I got my hands on the physical log from the jeweler, but the timestamps don't match.
There was a physical log.
Is that unusual?
It's the first I'm hearing of it. They only include a physical log if they can't enter into the Degas file system immediately.
So it's possible the physical log is accurate, and the Degas file was entered after the fact.
Either that, or whoever entered it into the Degas file made a series of mistakes.
Vladena doesn't seem that computer savvy, so it's possible. Anything come up in your investigation that you can tell me about?
Actually, yes. Black market chatter has been hinting at an upcoming big score in a matter of days.
Do you think someone could be after the crown jewels?
With the numbers they're throwing around, I wouldn't rule them out. I don't know how they would steal them, though.
They would need all 7 keys. Do you know where the key holders are?
So you've heard the story. I can certainly track them down, but the keys won't be enough. They've added biometric security as well.
So the 7 key holders are themselves a key.
Not all 7. I suspect 1 would be enough.
The Dean of St. Vitus is a key holder. He could be a target.
Why him, especially?
He's planning to leave town so no one will miss him. And no security is protecting his office. I walked right in.
I'm taking these threats seriously. I'll call the local authorities.
I should go now. It might already be too late.
Nancy, be careful.
I'm not done with that yet. Check. Can't check that off yet. That's done. Check. I'm not done with that yet. I'm not done with that.
Oh,
Please remember to be careful.
This one has a mark on it.
Not so fast. This cannot be removed from the museum. Not so fast. This cannot be removed from the museum. Not so... You managed to open the artifact?
I hope you don't mind. It's kind of what I do.
It does not appear to be damaged, and I had been looking forward to seeing inside. Just make no habit of touching exhibits.
I understand. I am curious, though.
We found it in the original royal palace structure in the tunnels beneath the castle complex recently. It dates back to the 9th and 10th century.
What are these tunnels?
You have not heard? Tunnels beneath Prague, from the times of nobles and kings. We're in the process of restoring them, but not all are safe.
The artifact seems very old. Whose was it?
Rudolph II. You will not know he ruled from 1576 to 1612, I believe.
Oh, yes, as Holy Roman Emperor. How did you deduce that? You could say I am professionally interested.
We found a note in the same tunnel from a council in his court. Lehman. He helped hide the artifact before the end of his reign.
Now that it's open, what will you do with the artifact?
I will keep it here until I am able to examine it privately and enter it into Degas. What difference is it to you? No more questions. I must go. Please view the exhibits that are open to you.
Is that a cat meowing?
I hope the Dean is available to see me now.
Very well, sir. Do you have an appointment?
You know very well I do not. You told me you would contact me, and I have heard nothing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry for the misunderstanding.
We had this conversation yesterday. The inspection of the crown jewels is happening soon, and I must be a part of it.
Pity. It does appear the inspection has already taken place, and the Dean is already left for his trip.
I want you to record that I came searching for him today.
He's aware you came round yesterday, and he apologizes that he could not get back to you before his departure.
Hello, this is Helena Svoboda, Special Events for the Office of the President. The President has requested that we conduct the official inspection of the crown jewels immediately, rather than next week. As always, this will be a private inspection with the utmost security. We will be in touch with further details. Osva Nesevam. Hello, it's Helena, Special Events with a message for the Dean. The President wanted me to extend his appreciation for your participation in the inspection, and to let you know everything has passed inspection and the gems are prepared for the upcoming exhibition. Dziękuję za wasz czas.
This is no ordinary wall decor. There we go. Wait a second. The bookcase moved. Leo might be in trouble. I need to report this as soon as possible. Where am I? I gotta find a way out.
Dobry den, tady policie České republiky.
I hope you understand English. I'd like to report a possible missing person, the Dean of St. Vitus Cathedral. I was set to meet with him, but he didn't show.
Why do you believe he is missing?
I went to his office to meet him, and he wasn't there. And I found a secret passage in his office, and his cat was trapped behind it. I noticed one of his playing cards on the ground in the tunnel, but was chased away before I could look any closer by what I assume was a person.
A secret passage? Who is this?
My name is Nancy Drew.
The detective?
Yes, I can verify my identity if you'd like.
That won't be necessary. The passages underneath the city are not serviced and are very dangerous. Only a few are accessed by tour groups. Recently, floods have destroyed many of the passageways. Do not go back inside.
Oh, all right.
We will send an officer to the Dean's workplace and home.
Thank you. I also found a plane ticket on his desk, and he did mention he was going out of town. Can you check additional records to see if he took a different flight?
Yes, we can.
Great. That's all I can ask.
would you like to file a report regarding the man who chased you?
No. I know something was there, but I would like to keep focus on the Dean.
Okay. We will call back this number once we have something to report.
Can't check. That's done. I'm not. Still have to do that. That's done. Check. Still have to do that.
Hello.
Adela, what's wrong?
It's my computer. I got this scary pop-up, and now it won't respond to anything I do.
Let me take a look. I recognize this handiwork. Someone has tried harder this time. Let's see what I can do. Here you go.
Pani, where did you learn that?
Apparat's shopkeeper taught me. I had a similar problem and went to her for help.
Do you have an update?
The theft of your jewels may have been a launch pad, a dry run, for stealing what they're really after.
And what do you believe that is?
I hear the crown jewels are going on display. A rare occasion.
Is it possible? I don't know that there is a connection, but the gems in my mother's necklace are from the same era as the crown jewels. They wouldn't even be fake. They could reasonably be used as a convincing substitute for the real royal jewels. When would they strike?
Within a number of days. They must have a plan for getting all 7 keys.
You know the history. I would expect nothing less of you. They would not need all 7 official keys if they make their own.
How could they do that?
For centuries, alchemists were part of the royal courts. If King Leopold II's royal alchemist made the original keys, the plans may still be in his workshop.
You really do know your history. The workshop must be long gone by now.
If it exists anywhere, I imagine it would be somewhere around the castle complex.
Have you had this kind of computer trouble before?
No, not to my knowledge.
Whoever tampered with our computers wanted us to know.
Yes, The thought crossed my mind.
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
Yes, but this is a history lesson. We do not have Residente today.
What makes you so sure?
They have done nothing in decades. You waste your time with this.
I'll see what more I can find and let you know.
Well, if it would stop a greater crime, then please continue.
I will. Thank you.
Hello, my dear.
Do you know where they keep the crown jewels?
They have replicas on display.
The real ones.
In a vault in the castle complex, no?
Adela told me that King Leopold II had a royal alchemist in his court.
This does not surprise me. We have an entire section on alchemy here. Books in English, too.
Do you believe that he had a workshop? Could it still be around here?
A hidden workshop? I have heard of hidden passages. I remember. They have an exhibit on alchemy at the castle.
The one overseen by Oscar Dvorak?
If you say so.
Thank you. You've given me a lot to work with.
Anytime. You ask the best questions.
Still have to do that. I'm not done with that. Can't check that off yet. I'm not done with that yet.
You just missed today's play. Actually, you didn't. It was the same as yesterday's.
I wondered if you'd still be here. I had a few history questions for you.
Lay them on me.
Did you finish the Residente script?
It's still a work in progress. I'm not really sure how to end it.
Why is that?
Because the Residente haven't finished yet.
Most people I spoke with believe the Residente disbanded quite a long time ago.
I'm not most people.
Do you believe alchemy still has a place in today's world?
The alchemy of those days is a dying art. Like my marionettes. Sometimes I think leaving the past in the past might be simpler.
Why is it a problem? You're keeping your traditions alive.
I might have been better off sticking with video games.
Do you know specifically who originally made the 7 keys?
Yes, it is said that Leopold II's royal alchemist made them. Alchemy was a science back then, and kings kept alchemists in their court. You can see evidence of this all over Prague, down to the smallest detail. Nothing mystical about forging keys, of course.
Do you know his process for forging them?
Merrick knows better than I do. I make marionettes dance, but don't really make them physically. He's a master craftsman. Marionettes, keys, you name it.
Thanks for your expert analysis. I'll keep it all in mind.
Of course. Oh, Nancy, before you go, have you ever read Kafka's Metamorphosis?
Not yet, but I know the story.
Then you know. The real monsters in Prague, they don't always look it.
Hello, what can I do for you?
Does your grandfather only work here?
Work, yes. Hides at his desk and does who knows what else. Also, yes.
He's pretty secretive then.
My mother would say that is just how he is, always tampering with something, and he should not be disturbed.
You never thought to sneak a peek?
To watch him tinker with puppets? No, thank you. I prefer computers. They are more challenging.
Were you close to your mother?
She passed when I was young. She was everything to me.
I'm sorry. I know what that's like.
I'm sorry to hear that. My mom was killed, hit by a car on an errand, so they say.
You don't sound convinced.
It was the middle of the night. What errand would she run? But my grandfather would say no more about it.
What do you think happened?
She was hit by a car. More than that, I can't know.
I'm very sorry. I could...
No, what's done is done. What about your mother? How did it happen?
Suddenly. Like yours. If you ever need to talk...
It was a long time ago, and we're here now.
So you really don't know more about Radek?
He's pretty cute.
I meant about what he does. He's so passionate about his craft, even in our modern age.
I have never asked. He has a mysterious quality to him. I trip over my words when he is around.
That's hard to believe.
It is true. I am not as friendly as I appear.
So you don't know how he spends his time?
He speaks mostly with my grandfather. You would have to ask him.
I should get going.
Of course.
Dobry den. Are you looking for Elka?
Actually, I wanted to talk to you. Alchemy seems to be a large part of Prague's history and continues to be relevant today. Do you know anything about the alchemists of the old royal courts?
I learned many skills from those times. I fix old marionettes and automatons, but some tricks got lost along the way.
So you can't turn lead into gold?
Ha! I would not be here if I could. I mean, for example, the old case right there.
What about it?
It belonged to an alchemist from centuries ago, sometime during the 16th century. I could never find a way to open it without breaking it. That I won't do.
May I give it a closer look?
Please, be careful.
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
You are afraid of them?
Should I be?
No. They would not bother tourists.
How do you know that?
Why would they? It attracts the wrong attention.
Have you encountered the Residente? Would you know how to reach them?
They don't bother old men either.
Do you know how they molded the 7 keys that lock up the crown jewels?
Not molds. Schematics. In those days, they wrought keys in a forge and hammered them into shape. Strong iron made them sturdy, but not the 7 keys. They are more delicate. So they say.
If the schematics for the original keys still exist, where would they be?
Hidden. If they were hidden by the alchemists who made them, they would have locked them away somewhere they could never be found. But not with a key.
Then how? Do you think they still exist?
Alchemists were very clever. The schematics could have been destroyed by now.
You have filled a few holes in my knowledge. Thank you.
At least someone is interested in what I know.
You're thinking of Elka? To me, daughter or granddaughter, sometimes spending time together is enough. Can't check that off yet. Let's take a closer look. Have I seen the symbol before? Have I seen the symbol before? I'm not done with that yet.
Enter the darkness. You have nothing to fear. If it is a ghost you seek, some may be near.
I just need to borrow this.
Prague, city of kings, city of ghosts. Beware the night, for you may encounter 12 headless ghosts crossing the Charles Bridge. Executed at Old Town Square, they seek their missing heads, left hung in iron baskets from Old Town Bridge. The Mad Barber is dying to give you a new look to impress the Emperor. Sadly, his local shop failed when he traded his barber's blade for a beaker. You see, the Mad Barber believed that after mixing and cutting all day, he could use alchemy to gain his fortune by turning metal into gold. He died with nothing to his name. Lore says that he continues to roam the streets with his blade. Move quickly. He may want more than just your hair. Or you may fall victim to Perta, the daughter of the lords of the House of Rosenberg, who once lived in this very palace complex. They established their own castles until Emperor Rudolph II purchased the Rosenberg houses. One Rosenberg daughter got her own castle when she was married off to a nobleman, who turned out to be not so noble. The death of her evil husband was both a blessing and a curse. When Perkta refused his request for forgiveness, he cursed her, but it was she who got the last laugh. To this day, the tales speak of the spirit of Perkta dwelling in this ancient castle as the Lady in White. But should she don black, the color of night, it is her spirit who seeks out the one who is sure to die. Look closely, quickly now. What does Perkta wear? Linger longer if you dare. Are you certain you won't be the one her spirit seeks? You have chosen wisely to retreat behind closed doors to avoid such dangers. Or have you? Venture further, if you dare. The Dalibor Knight. The wearer of this armor joined the People's Uprising in Plaskovitska in the 15th century. His reward? A death sentence. But he was not alone while he awaited his fate in the tower of Prague Castle. See his companion. This violin kept the Dalibor Knight company through all his troubles. All heard his playing until the day of his death. And beyond. Some say when moonlight falls on the knight's armor, a secret will be revealed. Those who dwell too long in this room may face a mournful wrath of the knight himself. Linger at your own risk.
I'm not done with that yet. That's done. A little key. I'm not check. Still have to do that. Can't check that off. I'm not done with that yet.